All right, let's just get into it. If you've ever felt completely lost in the endless sea of diet advice, you are definitely not alone. It feels like every single day there's a new, quote, miracle diet, right? Well, today we are going to cut through all of that noise. We're not talking about fads here. We're diving straight into the real science of how diets actually affect your body. I mean, seriously, it's a total maze of conflicting principles. One expert tells you to cut all your carbs. The next one says fat is the enemy. Then someone else comes along and says you should only eat during this tiny little window of time each day. It's enough to make your head spin. But what does the science actually say when you put them all head to head? For this explainer, we have an amazing guide to lead us through the confusion. We're digging into a major position stand from the International Society of Sports Nutrition, or the ISSN. And look, this isn't just one study. It's a massive review of the entire body of scientific literature. This is our roadmap to the truth. Okay, so first things first, we have to understand the one law that governs absolutely everything else, no matter what diet you're on. Think of it as the golden rule of energy. And that rule is all about energy balance. It's such a simple concept, but it is incredibly powerful. It's just the relationship between the energy you put into your body, your calories in, and the energy your body uses for, well, everything, your calories out. So here's the crucial takeaway from the ISSN. Any diet that works for fat loss is driven by a sustained caloric deficit, period. It doesn't matter if it's low carb or low fat. If you consistently burn more energy than you eat, you will lose fat. And on the flip side, to build muscle, you need a sustained caloric surplus. This energy balance is the engine that drives all results. But, calories out is way more interesting than just the time you spend at the gym. It's actually a mix of a few different things that all add up to your total daily energy expenditure. Let's break it down. What's so wild is how this pie is divided up. The biggest piece by far, your basal metabolic rate, or BMR. That's just the energy it takes to keep the lights on, to keep you alive. The rest is split between actual exercise, all your other daily movements like fidgeting or walking around, and even the energy it takes to digest your food. That's called the thermic effect of food, or TEF. We've all heard this one, right? This idea that if you just pack on enough muscle, your metabolism will go into overdrive, and you'll just be incinerating calories even when you're sitting on the couch. It's a really compelling idea, but what does the research actually say? Okay, this is a fantastic reality check from the source. The paper points out that muscle tissue, at rest, only burns about 13 calories per kilogram per day. So, get this. Even if you manage to gain a pretty significant 5 kilograms of pure muscle, that's over 11 pounds. It would only increase your resting metabolism by about 65 calories a day. That's less than a single apple. So yeah, it helps, but it is not a metabolic supercharger. All right, now for the main event, the Great Diet Wars. We've got our golden rule of energy balance in our back pocket, so let's apply it. Is there really a champion when you put low fat, low carb, and keto in the ring together? The ISSN's verdict might actually surprise you. So let's meet the contenders. You've got your classic low-fat diets. Then you have low-carb diets, which do exactly what they say. The more extreme version of that is the ketogenic diet, which is so low in carbs, your body starts burning fat as its main fuel source. And then there's intermittent fasting, which is less about what you eat and more about when you eat. This is the million-dollar question, isn't it? If you had to pick just one to improve your body composition, which one is scientifically proven to be the best? And here it is, the big reveal, straight from the source. This is probably the single most important takeaway from the entire paper. When it comes to fat loss, no single diet, not keto, not low fat, not fasting, is magically better than any other. A whole bunch of different roads can lead to the exact same place. But, and this is a huge but, there's a critical condition. They're all pretty much the same, only when total calories and, just as importantly, protein intake are matched between them. This means the name of the diet you follow is way less important than making sure you nail those two key variables. This brings us to the unsung hero of this whole story. While everybody's out there arguing about carbs versus fats, the science is pointing to a different nutrient as the real MVP. So, let's talk about the power of protein. The ISSN paper lays out 3 huge advantages for a higher protein intake. First, it has the highest thermic effect. Your body burns more calories just digesting it. Second, it's the most filling macronutrient, which helps you control your appetite and total calories.
And third, and this is so important, it helps you hold on to your hard-earned muscle when you're dieting.
And this chart just illustrates that first point brilliantly. I mean, look at the difference here. Your body uses a whopping 20 to 35% of the calories from protein just to process it. Now compare that to carbs, or especially to fat, which is just a tiny 2 to 3%. Protein is just more metabolically expensive, and that gives you a little edge.
So how much protein are we talking about? Well, for athletes who are trying to get lean while keeping their muscle, the paper recommends a pretty high intake, 2.3 to 3.1 grams of protein for every kilogram of their fat-free mass. That's way higher than what most people eat, and it just shows how vital protein is for changing your body composition.
Okay, so we've talked energy balance, we've debunked the diet wars, and we've highlighted the massive role of protein. So what does this all boil down to? What's the one thing that actually determines success?
After digging through all of the evidence, the researchers came to a really clear conclusion. The key to getting results and keeping them isn't whether your diet is called paleo or keto or vegan. It's compliance. That's it. Simply put, the best diet in the world is the one you can actually stick with, right? If a diet is so ridiculously restrictive that you can only last 2 weeks, it's completely useless. Long-term success is all about consistency. The paper uses this absolutely fantastic analogy to put everything into perspective. Think of your nutrition like a cake. The cake itself, the foundation, the most important part, is your total calories and your macros, especially protein. Then you've got the icing. That's stuff like nutrient timing, when you eat. And the sprinkles on top, that's your supplements. Seriously, don't worry about the sprinkles if you haven't even baked the cake yet.
So it turns out we've been asking the wrong question this whole time. This huge debate over which diet is the best completely misses the point. It's time to reframe the entire conversation. And that's the real question, isn't it? What's the best diet for you? What approach lets you consistently manage your calories, hit your protein goals, and most importantly, actually fits your life, your preferences, and your goals? Because at the end of the day, that is the only diet that will ever work.